most rippable waves in the entire world. Heat number 7 features a former world champion, Joel Parkinson, former pipe master, coming off a win at the Billabong Pro Tahiti, Jeremy Flores, and Glen Micro Hall representing Ireland, the Goofy Foot, who is finaled here at the QS level a couple of years ago. As you can see, a nice friendly crowd down here in San Clemente. The shuttle's running all day long to get people down here to watch this. The opening ride of the matchup goes to the Goofy Foot, Glen Hall. Mistimes the backhand float, he's down.
Yeah, just a little too deep there, but couldn't afford to let the other two guys go. And you got the south, here we go, some sets through, looks like Jeremy Flores.
And he will roll in with the whitewater. Flores coming off a big win in Tahiti, coming to turns here at lowers. Setup work to start. Full rail carve into the pocket now. Clean inside track, coils up for a huge open face carve. Big wrap off the top for Flores. Layback hack to finish. Now next wave, setting up for former world champ Joel Parkinson. Big forehand whip. Blows the tail out into the classic roundhouse. Now he'll just do some fill-in work on the gutless section. Sneak it in the roundhouse. And he'll just be looking to put this one to bed on the inside corner. Wrapping tailslide cutty, and Parko still wants a little bit more. Slamming it shut. He'll end up losing the finish, but he really was running out of wave there. Great exchange after a very sleepy start. Remember, Micro just had a .93. Jeremy got one. Parko on the wave behind him. We're already halfway through this heat.
Yeah. You know, it's we're into surfing a 15-minute heat right now. 16:40 on the clock, actually, but you know, had Glen Hall not caught that wave, we probably would have had a restart. But let's have a look at Joel's first off. Watch this opening turn from Parko. That's what we're used to seeing from him. And right here, boom, gets that rotation off the top. And then wrap around cutty. I thought he was going to kick out after this maneuver, but we talk about the fire that's still in the belly of Joel Parkinson. Just that want to milk this one all the way through and get those extra couple of points. Joel Parkinson showing that he's still got it, still wants it. And I think that's one of the most important things. That fire is still burning bright for Joel. Brings it all the way through the inside. So Joel Parkinson opens up with a bang.
Then also Jeremy Flores getting this easy little roll into start pots.
Beautiful opening maneuver right there. Watch this cutback. Nice wrap around, bounces off the wire water. This is what I love about lower Trestles, just keeps offering. And Jeremy Flores showing that form that he's been lacking last year. He's found it again. Rejuvenated Jeremy Flores, finishes off his waves. Last year he wasn't doing that, Joe.
Looking really sharp, and it was really just this noticeable moment with an equipment change for Flores, which is paving his way to this kind of rhythm. He's out front now, setting up a layback dagger to start. Vertical whip. He'll throw the fins out on the second move as well. He'll get a hung up on that third wrapping option, but still showing lethal form. Great decisions on that layback to start. Parko score yet to drop in.
He sat and waited, didn't stress out. Yet last year would have been splashing the water. This is wave number 2 for Jeremy. Just trying to keep that rhythm going right there. Beautiful turn, waiting, and then unleashes. Kind of made a mistake here on this one, so this is not going to be a keeper for him. 3.67, but where all the meat and potatoes came from, 8.17 on that first wave. What a way to start.
Huge start for Flores, 3.67 on his backup. He's out in front. Parko locks in a 6.83, and now Micro comboed at the moment, but you can see what the judges thought there.
You know, and he's got to roll that Rolodex back and remember that. You know, this kid, he's got game.
Little setup for Glen Hall. Off the bottom, little check in the pocket, backside float. Now make it out in front. Floats the next section. And this one he's going to be a little bit late. So he forces one in the whitewater, and Glen's out of there. His best wave so far, but he's down to 13 minutes to catch up to the former Pipe Masters.
You know, you talked about how Jeremy said this is going to be a lot harder than winning Chopu. I don't think so.
It looks like Jeremy is on a roll on another wave pots. Full wrap. Fun little pockety inside section. Carves all the way through. Jams one off the lip line. He's got a lot of speed through the inside track, and he'll sink on the final maneuver. So trying to better a 3.67 to put more pressure on Parko. when you think about big numbers, we're kind of focusing on perfect heats. Parko's done his at Pipeline. Flores perfect heats in Tahiti in the past. As we watch this last replay. First, what happened to Micro here?
Yeah, nice opening turn there. Got a little hung up, and what that did was it put him behind the section, and it was basically, you see him just trying to get up and over that and get around on that open face. Didn't really allow him to do that. So it's not going to be a huge score for Glen Hall. 4.50, back to the drawing board for him. As you said, runner-up to Gabriel Medina back in the day when it was a QS. So
Wilco, Glen Hall also has a really solid relationship with Ace Buchan as we get back to the replays with Jeremy Flores.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's just continually catching waves. You know, it's been a slow start to the heat, and you're going to get those. With the swell the way it is, Joe, we're going to get those heats with a lot of waves, and you're going to get those wave-starved heats. Jeremy realizing that this is one of those slow heats, and he's just getting busy. A 5.77, so building his lead up.
As we come back from break and see a couple of little waves moving out the back. Priority is with Joel Parkinson. And Joel committing to this right-hander. Starting to move down the line. Jams it off the top. Settles the bottom turn. He'll ditch the fins. This wave's going flat and kind of going out to sea. He'll hang in there and snap it off the coping. Little nose pick, blow tail into a layback, and Parko will force the finish. As we catch up with Flores just kicking out of the next opportunity. So a few waves ridden there with 8:30 remaining. Glen Hall also got active during the break, so we'll catch you up with the whole matchup on paper. Parko did manage a finish, but that end section didn't make it easy for him.
You question the fight in this guy? I doubt it. I think this guy's ready. Joel Parkinson, obviously Jeremy Flores out the back, trying to just keep the ball rolling. I love the fact that he was just looking at this one. You can see not really totally committed to it, and then decides to kick out, get back out the back, and regain their first priority. But Joel Parkinson, this is a good wave from Parko. Needs a good one. 6.83 on his opening wave. Tags it right there. Draws off the bottom. I love the transition between the turns from Parko. Almost looks like he's got no speed at all, but then is able just to unleash some big turns. Draws off the bottom again. Look at that snap right there. Loses the fins and fights his way back to his feet. Core strength right there. This was Micro 6.83. This was done during the break on his backhand. Waiting for it. Up and over the top again. Using that floater as a transition move. Now you can either go down and around it or up and over the top, which Micro is choosing to do. Get himself back on the open face. This is definitely his best scoring ride so far. He's got himself back in the heat, Joe. A 6.83 now, looking for just a 7.12. Exactly the same score required from Joel Parkinson.
So a sleepy start to heat number 7. We're almost thinking we might have gotten a restart, but Glen had a wave just in the .93 range. He was working with Ace Buchan at the time. Like kind of what he's doing with Wilco this year on tour. They're coaching each other through their heats. They're on opposite sides of the draw. They're hoping that they're going to make the final together, and only one surfer beat both of them. That ended up being the champion, Gabriel Medina.
Well, all those winners directly into round 3. The other surfers will find their way into round 2 as we go live action, guys. One thing I'm keeping an eye on is this side shore wind coming on these lefts. I'm looking forward to seeing Italo Fiera in heat 9 and Gabriel Medina in heat 10. Back to you.
Todd Klein's expecting the air game to come down as you see Flores kick out. Parko keeps that outside position out the back. And Micro is on the first one of the set as it's still pouring through. This opportunity will set up now for Parko. Amazing bottom turn. Huge carve for the former world champ. Just a little setup off that warbly lip. And that one's just going to run away from him. A challenging read. And Parko decides to kick out. 3:20 remaining. His wave before is 6.13. Joel stayed in second, and Flores feeling a little bit more confident with his lead.
Yeah, I think we're still owed away from Jeremy as well. He's looking to replace a 5.77, so Jeremy's situation a little easier to improve on than the other two guys. Micro on a bigger set wave, and it just kept running away from him. You can see races down the line. So far, nothing really to talk about. You talk about that floater maneuver, that's kind of been his go-to right now. Trying to get up and over that section, and it just does not cooperate for Micro. Back to the drawing board for him. Only needing a 7.12. Jeremy, this was the way we're talking about. Up and over the top. Tail tapping drop there from Flores. And now he starts to go to work on that inside section. Finishes off with a nice little layback snap, mixing it up for the judges. Just constantly looking to improve on his situation. You can see Jeremy fired up right now. There's a lot of pep in his step in there.
Oh, so fired up. What happened to Parker on his wave, Potts?
Yeah, Parker, this was kind of the third wave of the set. And what you're going to see with this is the white water that comes into play right here. It just proves a lot harder to set those fins and get those clean turns. That wave ran away from Joel. Not really offered him too much, so Joel quick in and out. Looks like Jeremy is only just going to improve on his situation, Joe.
An 8.17, 6.10 as we're into the countdown, and Flores coming off just his second CT win of his career. The Billabong Pro Tahiti is making the transition so well here to this rippable lineup at Lower Trestles.